Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Jeff, and Zach Cooper's going to be doing his breakdown as well on the same match. Get two different perspectives. We're going to be going over Bret Hart versus The Undertaker for the WWF Championship. It's going to be going down in London, England, and this is the only one-night-only pay-per-view under the WWF umbrella. So here you go. It's in 1997, the only one of its kind in the WWF umbrella. All right. So Bret Hart is backstage interviewing with Vince. Bret says that it's basically like wrestling at home when it comes to the prospect of wrestling in London. It's basically like having home turf to Bret. And he says that he's still the same champ that he's been in years past when asked by Vince McMahon. He then says that he's going to prove he's the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Bret says that he expects Taker to kind of bring the fight. And he says that he is the toughest fight that he's ever had to face. Taker's backstage in a dark room. He does his spooky, scary shit and says that for one night only, Bret's going to have to truly prove that he is the best. And, he says that there's no special guest referee this time. Taker then comes out first. The crowd is red hot for him. Bret comes out second, and it's a bit of a mixed reaction. Match starts off with both guys trading blows in the corner. Taker tries to choke out Bret, but Bret unties the turnbuckle after he counters. Bret then tries to toss Taker from that same turnbuckle. Taker then counters with a clothesline. He then goes for his elbow drop. He misses. Bret tries to go for the sharpshooter early. Taker breaks out of it and sits up, the signature sit-up that he does. Bret then hits like a sliding clothesline. Then Bret clotheslines Taker out of the ring shortly thereafter. Bret then tries to do a dive on the Undertaker from the apron. Taker ends up catching him and hits a spine buster, picks him back up, rams him into the ring post. Taker and Bret fight up the ramp, shortly thereafter. Taker then body slams Bret on the outside, takes him back into the ring, Irish whips Bret Hart off of the ropes, but Bret counters with a DDT. Taker then sits up shortly thereafter again. Bret Hart does multiple grounded attacks. Taker then sits up again, refusing to die, and Bret uses the ropes to grind Taker's face on it, and the ref in commentary talks about the possibility of a DQ. I thought it was a no-holds-barred match. What the hell are we talking about DQs? It's not like the rules matter anyway. You let guys in singles matches, punch each other in the nuts and rake their eyes and stuff, but I'll save that tangent for the end. Bret then goes for an Irish whip on that exposed turnbuckle, but Taker ends up countering, and Bret hits the turnbuckle. Taker hits multiple elbows shortly thereafter. Taker then goes for the stretch submission where he has the knee in the back and he's pulling both arms back in a seated position. Taker then ends up turning that into a pinfall attempt. Smooth transition from Taker. Bret ends up kicking out. Bret then goes to attacking Taker's knee, but Taker then takes Bret down. He hits a backbreaker, turns that into a kind of backbreaker stretch submission. Bret then attacks the knees again, whips Taker into the corner, but Taker counters with a back elbow. And I don't really point out stuff in the crowd too often, but this was just funny. There was a sign in the crowd that said, "Ted Turner blows Hogan." Yeah, I found that kind of funny, so that's why we're going to bring it up in this review today. Taker then goes for a knee attack in the corner. Bret ends up dodging that attack with some more knee strikes and moves or whatever. Bret then goes for that assisted figure four leg lock with the ring post that I like. Taker blocks it by using his foot for resistance. Bret ultimately ends up locking it on after two failed attempts. Bret then attacks, Taker then, hold on, I'm lost again. All right, yeah, he locks it back in. They both go back into the ring. Bret Hart is attacking the knee some more, and he locks at a figure four inside the ring this time. And while that's being locked in, there's a rest in peace chant. Taker kind of uses that energy from the crowd, reverses the pressure on the Bret Hart, but Bret ends up reaching the ropes. Both guys have to have a clean break. Taker then goes for his big boot running off the ropes, but Bret takes out the only leg that's still on the ground. So when you go for the big boot, one leg's off the ground, obviously. So you got to take out the other leg to get Taker to fall. And Bret then hits a side Russian leg sweep. Taker kicks out. He hits a snap suplex. Taker kicks out again. Bret then goes for a backbreaker, then goes for a dive off the top rope, but Taker gets his foot up, kicking Bret Hart in the face. Both guys then take each other out with a clothesline off the ropes, and Taker ends up sitting up at the count of 6 because the ref is counting since both guys are down. Then Taker hits a leg drop to the midsection. Taker goes for that same leg drop again. Bret Hart is able to counter it and get a grab of that leg and roll it into the sharpshooter. Pretty damn good counter right there. But Taker ends up powering out of the sharpshooter just like he did at SummerSlam 97. Good call from commentary to reference that match. Bret goes back on the attack again and tries to lock in the sharpshooter again, but Taker grabs Bret by the throat. Bret then counters a chokeslam attempt, but Taker, lands on his knees and hits his flurry of punches, hits the big boot and the leg drop, brother. Bret then rolls outside and grabs the ring bell, says, forget all this nonsense. I'm just going to beat the shit out of Taker with a bell. Taker rolls back into the ring shortly after to chase Bret. Bret goes to swing the bell. Taker hits a big boot, which knocks the bell out of his hand. So after that, Taker then goes to swing the bell, but the ref took the bell from him. Oh, so it's okay when Bret does it, but when babyface Taker tries to do it, he's gone too far. Bret then, in the process, chop blocks Undertaker and goes back on the attack. Bret then goes for a hip attack onto the leg like he's been doing throughout the duration of the match, and apparently takes out a cameraman and the camera. Yikes. Taker then goes to the outside to follow Bret and ends up whipping Bret into the stairs. Taker then whips Bret into the corner, and that exposed turnbuckle. He ends up avoiding the exposed turnbuckle, but in the process, ends up landing back first into the ring post by trying to duck it. So he's still got some pain regardless. Taker then goes for old school. Like, this move has been countered a million times, like Zach's been pointing out. Bret ends up countering by basically pulling him down for a big toss. These two end up trading counters from the Tombstone Piledriver position. Bret gets his neck caught into the ropes, gets tangled up there. Taker goes for the attack onto Bret. The ref keeps pulling him off. And then ultimately, the ref just calls for the bell. Taker chokeslams the ref shortly thereafter. Taker then pulls a WWF official into the ring when that official and Owen Hart come to rescue Bret. So Taker chokeslams the WWF official. Taker then pretends to leave and then re-enters the ring. Then he originally would leave and follow Bret and Owen. Then the British ring announcer, says that Bret Hart won by disqualification. Taker then chases out the ref, chases out the ring announcer, who then goes into the crowd and proceeds to leave. I'm going to give all that, it was a fine match, right? It was fine. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. 3 stars out of 5. It was cool. It was fine. There was some good stuff that went down. But this officiating, man, the officiating was so bad in 1997. In a singles match, in a regular match, it's like, oh yeah, you can kick each other in the nuts, you can rake the eye, you can hit people with steel chairs, it doesn't matter. But then you have a no-holds-barred match, and Undertaker goes to swing a ring bell, and you snatch it from him? It's no-holds-barred. That means anything goes. It's so ass backwards, man, and, honestly, I wanted to give the match a better grade, but I think 3 out of 5 is fine. And I want to really enjoy this match. I can't because the officiating is so ass backwards. Makes no sense. I don't know how you can have a no-holds-barred match but then treat it like a regular match. Like a regular singles match where you actually follow the rules. I don't get it. And commentary was talking about how Bret Hart could have been disqualified and he could retain his title. And it's but it's no-holds-barred. I thought that meant anything goes. But, must have been a new concept back then. I don't know, but all this shit is stupid. But it gets 3 out of 5. That's my little mini rant or tyrant or tangent, whatever. But hopefully you guys find joy in the match. It was a good match. It's just the officiating just irritated me more in this match than any other. Let's see what Zach has to say.